boys and girls, children of all ages. It's been a while since I did a video. It's been a while since I did my YouTube live. Life happens, and I wasn't inspired to give you guys the content that you deserve. But now I'm inspired. So this is a much belated best physical releases of movies of last year. And this is a message to my friend Aaron. Now, one of the reasons for the delays is that my friend Aaron, he's like my film movie brother from another mother, all that good stuff. We were going to do this together, but he is busy. He not only films and edits things, he does and hosts screenings at Majestic in Tempe, Chandler, and Gilbert, Arizona. That used to be Alamo Drafthouse before they decided to branch off on their own and become more independent and more local, and I'm right on for them. So Aaron's got his own YouTube channel. I've mentioned him before, Schlock Hawk. He also goes by the handler, the Twitter handler or online, whatever. His name is Hudson Frohawk. But he and I, that got like a bromance going on here. You know, he's just knows everything. So Aaron is just the best. But originally we were going to do this together. I was going to be the Garfunkel to his Simon, the Oates to his Daryl Hall. But that didn't happen. The Herb to his Peaches? Reunited, and it feels so good. So this is not going to be in any order. And let me know where you agree with me, Aaron, and where you don't agree with me. These are my choices for best physical releases on Blu Ray and 4K last year. And there's some that I know I will miss here. My favorite, the piece de resistance, will be the last one I show you. So, here we go. I missed this baby in the theaters, The Protege. This was directed by Martin Campbell. He of jump-starting the Pierce Brosnan Bond franchise with the best of his films, GoldenEye, and also starting the Daniel Craig, starting his series out with Casino Royale. This is a fun film, a terrific film. The chemistry between Michael Keaton and Maggie Q is just phenomenal. This is a beautiful looking disc. Reference quality. It's a very good action film. Very underrated. It did not... I was going to see it in the theaters and it was in and out. Too bad. But this was one of my favorite discs of last year. Another reference quality disc. In the Heights. In the Heights. I saw this in the theaters. It didn't do that well. A lot of the musicals that were shown in the theaters didn't do well. This, I felt, was one of the best adaptations of a Broadway show since the good old days of the 61 West Side Story, My Fair Lady, Sound of Music, and Fiddler on the Roof. I felt John Chu did a very good job with this thing. This is, again, reference quality. Aaron, you suggested this one to me. And Aaron, you have let my snobbery go all the way down. You have made me no longer a film... Well, I'm still a snob, but, not as much as I was before. And when you said The Final Countdown on Blue Underground, starring Martin Sheen and Kirk Douglas... produced by Kirk Douglas's production company. Now, this did not have a low budget. This was a big budget film. I think it cost $25 million, but it might as well have been a low budget film. The script is a very good idea. It's a brilliant idea, but it could have used a couple more rewrites. The director, who I've never heard of, what was his name? Oh yeah, good old Don Taylor. I don't know him. I've never heard of him before, but he could have done some more takes, especially of Martin Sheen, who's a great actor, and he brilliantly overacts in this film. Definitely brilliantly overacts. The wormhole sequence was designed by Maurice Binder. He's credited with visual effects, and since he did all the title designs for the classic James Bond films, it looks like a Bond title design. It looks like an unused Bond title design sequence. It's not a great film. In fact, some parts of it are laughable, but it's great in all the ways I want it to be. And my first 4K disc with Blue Underground, a beautiful, awesome boutique company, giving it to me in Dolby Vision, giving it to me in Dolby Atmos, beautiful, and they give this Schlock Fest the respect that it deserves with a booklet and everything. The Green Knight. Now, I saw this in the theater with our buddy Dan Kingsley, who's a part of our podcast, by the way, called Fireside Film Family. YouTube Live, a Fireside Film Family, coming on March 20th. And it was a double feature day. We saw Free Guy in the morning. Great movie, by the way. That's an honorable mention disc for me. And by the time we saw this film, I felt like I took a couple hits of acid. And I've never done acid. But if I did do acid, it would probably look like this film. The Green Knight, David Lowery, I've heard of him, but now I want to check out a lot more of his stuff. This was shot large format with the Arri Alexa 65 camera, so 6.5K down res to 4K, so you're getting a true 4K image. Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos on this disc. I mean, you want to take this trip. And I encourage you, if you haven't taken the trip, man, take the trip. Denis Villeneuve, I think I pronounced his name correctly. One of my favorite filmmakers around nowadays. I was excited when he was doing Dune, and I got struck with COVID when this came out in the theaters. I did not want to sit at home and watch this on HBO Max. HBO Max in Dolby Vision, and it was tiling like crazy. Good quality streaming services, good quality. And you want to replace physical media? Don't think so. So, Dune Part 1, as what this is, Dune Part 1. Warner Brothers decided to just call it Dune, but you got to watch the film for Dune Part 1 to say. So I call it Dune Part 1. He did the unthinkable. I read the book a long time ago. I have to read it, but I need like 2 years to read it. Amazing, very well shot by a new cinematographer. He's not new, but I've never paid attention to him. But very good photography by Greg Fraser. Denis puts you in that world. It's like, even if you're watching this on your 55-inch at home, you are sucked into the environment. I didn't appreciate it that much when it was on HBO Max, but after I've watched the disc several times, beautiful disc. Beautiful. I love it. Highly recommended. It's a great disc. If you are an audio and video file and you want to show off your 86-inch OLED with your true Dolby Atmos system, this is one of the films to do it. And on top of that, it's just a brilliant film. Now, you and I were talking about this one, The Guns of Avalon. The picture is beautiful. This is the best this film has ever looked. But on top of that, this is probably the best Dolby Atmos upmix of a traditional CinemaScope stereo film that I've ever heard. It's like the storm sequence. The storm sequence. I've never heard that much surround information on a Dolby Atmos upmix. I mean, Columbia gave A Few Good Men a Dolby Atmos upmix a few years ago, which I'm glad they did. Scratch my head why. But this thing, oh my gosh. The airplanes at the beginning are traveling overhead, and you are in that storm sequence. So, The Guns of Avalon. One day I was bored. I was at home by myself, waxing on and waxing off, and you suggested I get the Karate Kid box set, especially since I missed that very limited edition Ghostbusters set. So I looked at the bank account, tried to sneak it from my wife. She found out. And I got the Karate Kid box set. And these are all upgraded to Dolby Vision HDR. And the artwork, people, recreations of the posters, of the poster work. Look at that with the, I mean, Columbia, Sony Pictures Home Video, you know, we shouldn't be nitpicking about a lot of stuff, but and we should just be, you know, thankful with what we're getting, since people keep on saying physical media for movies is on its way out. Karate Kid Part 3, not one of the best, but hey, it's still a lot of fun, and I learned a lot about bonsai trees. When I got David Lynch's Mulholland Drive, my 4K player and my television, they were dancing. They were dancing, they were excited, they were happy. This is a great film to begin with, and I always save these hype stickers so you know David Lynch approved this. Dolby Vision transfers on all of these. And then we got the Safdie brothers and Uncut Gems. If you own the Blu Ray from Lionsgate, this is definitely an upgrade. They give this Dolby Atmos sound, which the Lionsgate Blu Ray did not. I don't know what it is with Lionsgate. Some of the Studio A24 films that they release, they don't put on 4K UHD. They did a limited one of Midsummer, and they did The Green Knight, and they did Hereditary, but they really don't. I mean, where's the 4K of Lighthouse? Here, Criterion did it. They gave it its original Dolby Atmos track. I like this film. I know a lot of people were down on it. I mean, come on. Look at the original poster art of this thing. You think Adam Sandler was playing Happy Gilmore in this film? No! And, of course, Citizen Kane. Now, it's considered the greatest film ever made, and I understand why, but I wasn't raised on Citizen Kane. I was raised on Taxi Driver and 2001: A Space Odyssey and The Godfather and Lawrence of Arabia. But when I saw it, I was blown away. Now, I'm going to get serious for a second. Criterion did an excellent job with this disc. It's the best the film has ever looked, but there's a channel I follow, and I mean, bless his heart, I like him, but I will say, there's no need to be criticizing things like package art nowadays. And the fact that you were going to bump up against, you know, this. I have very careful hands. I think with the way things are going with physical media, we need to be thankful with the things that we get. To me, what's most important, artwork is great, and in some cases, the artwork is nothing to write home about. Warner Home Video's Batman films on 4K UHD, to name one thing. But this is an incredible looking disc, and for me, it's what's on this disc that's important. The best this film has ever looked, and I can now make out all the optical effects. So we got My Fair Lady on 4K. I had my doubts about this at first. I'm like, how are they going to do this on 4K? That 50th anniversary Blu Ray was just perfect. Well, they knocked it out of the park, and you've heard me say this before. 65 millimeter or films that shot in 70 millimeter, whatever you want to call it, are the best for this 4K UHD format. And they really take advantage of it. It looks like I'm watching a new 65 millimeter print of this in the movie theaters. Definitely one to get if you haven't gotten it. On the Blu Ray front, our friends at the Warner Archive Collection. For us film fanatics, thank God they rehired George Feltenstein. And two big ones that I was waiting to come out for a long time. Everybody's favorite college musical with June Allison, Good News. I mean, the How to Speak French number at the end is just... that whole dance number in the gym at the end is just amazing. And of course, the Pass the Peace Pipe number as well. But this is just beautiful 3-strip Technicolor, the way Technicolor is really supposed to look. Beautiful. And of course, Vincent Minnelli's Thriller, Some Came Running, with Sinatra and Dean Martin in their first pairing together. Great film, beautiful cinemascope, especially the chase scene through the carnival at the end. I love his use of cinemascope in that scene. And on the Blu-ray front as well, finally, Cecil B. DeMille's The Greatest Show on Earth with Chuck Heston. And it's a fun film. And this is what I like about Paramount Presents when they do this. Get a nice recreation of the movie poster in there. What's not to love? The first disc released last year to hit it out of the park, Cecil B. DeMille's The Ten Commandments. It might have even been the best release of last year if other studios didn't go and knock it out of the park. Dolby Vision. This wasn't 70mm, but it was shot in a VistaVision. High quality, 8-perf camera neg, and they would a reduction print it down to 4 perforation 35mm, but you get a high resolution image. Beautiful. Shout Factory, another boutique company knocking out of the park with John Carpenter, Halloween, and The Prince of Darkness. If you own the Lionsgate Halloween, which was very damn good, this is definitely an upgrade. John Carpenter, in Obsession, my top 20. You know, Shout Factory's doing more. John Carpenter. I say, let's get Starman out next. Aaron, just about to wrap this baby up here. And folks out there in YouTube land, just about to wrap this up as well. Star Trek, I always say track. Star Trek, the original movie collection. I did hear that finally, sometime this year, we're going to get the director's special edition of Star Trek The Motion Picture, which I think beats the original theatrical edition by far, and that was one of the great Robert Wise's last acts. Love that man. Incredible, incredible. Now, is the artwork great? No, and I know people were complaining about the artwork and doing one of these things and then having the Blu-ray and one of these things, but right now, good is good. Good is good. Because we need to support these things and show we're buying them. You agree with me there, Aaron. The Dolby Vision on these things is beautiful. I've watched all of them. I watched the director's cut of Wrath of Khan. This is the best these films are going to look. It looks like I'm back in the theater watching Wrath of Khan with my grandparents like I did when it came out. Our friends at Arrow. 3 by Dario Argento. If you love this Italian horror master, you're not going to go wrong. The Cat of Nine Tails. His first one, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, and Deep Red, in their beautiful 2-perf Technoscope glory. If you don't know what Technoscope is, go ahead and look it up. It's the poor man's widescreen anamorphic. These are incredible transfers, incredible movies. You want to have a scare fest around Halloween? You put some Dario Argento in, and you're guaranteed to have a good time. Indiana Jones collection. Yes, I got the Steelbook set because that's all that was available. And I got it at Best Buy. Yes, this thing is kind of flimsy. Yes. But you know what? What's on these discs is incredible. These are the best these things ever looked. Sound designer Ben Burt did incredible Dolby Atmos up mixes of these. Watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which is always my favorite, because I remember seeing that in 70mm with my dad, it looks better than ever. In fact, all of these look better than ever. And if you didn't like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, if you said it looked too digital, which I did, that's been corrected. The color timing has been corrected. I know Spielberg himself didn't like it. So from what I understood, they did some recolor timing, and it looks like film now. And I gave it a second chance, and I like it now. And now, what my favorite release of last year was, and you knew it was going to be this, Aaron. You knew it was going to be this. Volume 2 of the Columbia Classics 4K Ultra HD collection. Main reason I wanted it was because of Taxi Driver, my obsession next to the Beatles, Martin Scorsese. But you get incredible transfers of Otto Preminger's Anatomy of a Murder, which is a must-see. Finally, Oliver is out. Academy Award-winning Best Picture winner and all that other stuff. Oliver, which beautiful transfer of that. A nice, well-balanced Dolby Atmos upmix on that. Taxi Driver has Dolby Vision HDR, which I love. They didn't upgrade the soundtrack on there, but it's got the original mono track on there, so that's very good. And I've been watching that with the original mono track. Ivan Reitman, rest in peace, Stripes. And what I like about these things is, again, attention to detail. Original poster art. See that? And Ang Lee's Sense and Sensibility, capped off with the first David Fincher on 4K. The Social Network, new Dolby Vision transfer. It was originally a 2K. They did some work on it, from what I understand, to make it a 4K. They explain all the restoration details in here. New Dolby Atmos soundtrack, and what's not to like? This was the best set. It was affordable. Look at these movies you get in this set. It's a beautiful box. Beautiful booklet inside, and plus there's a Blu Ray disc of Columbia short films from back in the day. So this was my favorite release. Honorable mention goes to Speed and Who Framed Roger Rabbit on 4K UHD. Both of those on 4K UHD after the people at Disney said, we are not going to issue any more physical releases of catalog titles. Newer films, yes, but not catalog titles. And that made people like you and I and everybody else say, you own the Fox catalog. You own the Fox catalog. People like us have been waiting for David Fincher's Fight Club. People like us have been waiting for Friedkin's The French Connection. Bob Chapek, get off your ass. But those are my favorite releases of last year. This is a long video, but I don't care. Aaron, let me know what yours are. And people out there, let me know what your choices are, and let me know what you think of my choices. Put your comments down below. I'm going to give a link here to Aaron's channel, Schlock Hawk. And he's got a lot of great stuff on his channel.
But things are getting even worse for the Hulkster. Walmart brand Sheriff Brody shows up, and he's here to serve an eviction notice to Hulk Hogan. And we learn that Kroger brand Matt Hooper, who actually looks like Matt Damon after a night of binge drinking with Ben Affleck, well, he's bragging about going on some science vessel for 18 months at sea, but he may have to cancel it. We got a copycat shot of a bodily remains found on a beach, and Kroger Matt Damon Hooper is thinking, we got a killer shark.
And maybe if you subscribe to him and we all subscribe together, maybe we can increase our viewership to the point where Aaron and I could finally start earning some of that YouTube money that y'all start earning out there. Money! Right? We've been doing this for a while. So, thank you all. Sorry this has been so long since I met you. Fireside Film Family will be doing a YouTube live of our next podcast, and we're just going to tape and ramble away for about 90 minutes. That's going to be on March 20th, so stay tuned for that, and talk to y'all soon.